Hey, good day. Paul here of the House of Graber. On the it's the 28th, I believe. Yeah, I think it's the 28th of November, Thanksgiving Day, 2024, that is. Anyway, I was running an errand locally to go pick up some milk, real milk. Actually, the term raw milk is that's a term that's used to subconsciously condition people that there's something weird about it. So what we should be saying is there's milk, and then there's destroyed and ruined and screwed up milk. But when we just say milk, that's like the whole milk that comes right out of the cow's tits. Okay? So, anyway, I just pulled over to the side of the road because my mind was traveling faster than my van was. I was thinking about some of the things I'm grateful for. And what I'm grateful for is, hey, James, welcome. It's going to be a short video, but first of all, I want to say that everything we do here at the House of Graber is protected and safeguarded under the laws of nature. That is the Almighty Creator. Now, my phone is telling me that I've got a slow connection, but I think it's okay. Under the laws of the Almighty Creator. Good day, Lester. Glad to have you on. And if you're on here and I haven't mentioned your name or I didn't see your name pop up, that just means I didn't see it or I'm not aware of it, and you're still welcome. Now I got somebody, man, hate that. Somebody trying to call me while I'm doing a video. So as I was coming home with this delicious straight from the cow milk. Good day, Loretta, Milton. As I was coming home, I felt like I just need to pull over to the side of the road. So I'm sitting here in the van between two cornfields out in a, kind of a quiet area, thinking about what I'm grateful for. Thinking about what I'm grateful for. Hopefully that worked. Yeah, it's a beautiful time. There's so much that I'm grateful for. So much. When I think back, tomorrow it'll be 12 years. Hey, Ellen. Good to see you on here. Love you. Tomorrow will be 12 years that I got put in cuffs and got hauled off to prison for a total of 2.5 years. And that was not a wasted time. It was a very crucial and a very trying time for myself and my whole family. The reason I stopped to do this call, the reason I'm sitting here by the roadside to do this video broadcast, there's one thing specifically that I want to talk about that I'm grateful for. And that is the legacy that was left behind by others. We live in a society where the truth has been, there's been a steady and systematic demise of truth, trying to cover it up, trying to cover the truth, trying to hide it so that, because I was told this years ago, but it becomes more and more real. A nation or a people or a man and woman, either way, that forget where they came from, that don't know where they came from, very likely don't know where they're going either. Because we came from somewhere before we landed here on this planet in this time, in this lifetime. We came from somewhere. We all know that. Whether we want to talk about it or acknowledge it is another thing, but we definitely came from somewhere. So but talking about just in this lifetime, if we don't remember or don't know where we came from, then it's kind of hard to figure out where we're going. Now, some people might say that the GPS doesn't care where you were yesterday or today. All it cares about is where are you now and where do you want to go. That's true. That's true enough. However, here's the big however. If you have no clue where you came from or what happened prior to today, you probably don't know where you want to go, so the GPS is completely helpless if you don't know where you want to go. There's things that are left behind for us that are crucial. Little signs, little things here and there. And I tend to talk more about administrative and lawful process. There's legal process and there's lawful process. Fraud is legal. Divorce is legal. There's all kinds of things that is legal. And there's some things that are lawful. But there's many things that are legal that are unlawful and ungodly, such as covering the truth because someone has an agenda, covering the truth because someone has an agenda of controlling other people, lying and bringing in, hey Kevin, good to have you on. Lying and bringing falsehoods into the arena is perfectly legal. If your lies benefit the agenda and the venue of where you're bringing it into, that's perfectly legal. Happens all the time. Happens every day of the week. But it's unlawful and it's ungodly. Hey Glenn, good to see you on here. So what is lawful and what is legal could be a whole, 7 days or 30 days discussion, and we might still not be done. What I want to talk about on here is, and I keep sidetracking myself, I know. What I want to talk about is the little things that are left behind for us to discover and to pick up on the truth. I believe it was the fall of 2016, Carol and I and our children attended the estate sale of my folks, their personal property. And I discovered a box of envelopes and papers and documents and stuff that nobody else, even if they did see it, they definitely didn't pay attention or think it was anything worthwhile. I bought that box or that pile of papers for $1. I would have paid 25 or 30 or maybe even 50 if I'd have had to, because there was something in there that I wanted. There in that pile of letters, what I was really after is a mortgage that was done between Frank Deich, the original owner of the farm that I grew up on. When I say original, the owner that owned it before my grandpa bought it in 1945. My grandpa bought that farm in 1945, and then later my parents, my mom and dad, bought it off of grandpa's. And but this particular, there's a mortgage, legal size document. It's not 8.5 by 11. It's a legal size 8.5 by 14. There's a reason for that. And then on the back side is the notary. Is a mortgage done by the buyer and the seller, because the seller was financing the buyer. And then there's a promissory note that's attached to this mortgage that was signed by my grandpa. And on the back side of this, now the promissory note was the size of what we think of a business check. It's 8.5 inches wide and fits into a number 10 envelope. On the back side of the promissory note, where if you think of flipping a check over and endorsing it at the top on the back, the way you would endorse a check, there's 4 stamps, post stamps, lawful money stamps of $2.50 each. And on each of those stamps is the initials of Frank Deich, and there's a circle around those initials. That's a private seal. Your initials with a circle around it is your private seal. Nobody will argue that. At least they won't if they have any comprehension of what's going on. Why is this important? And this applies to many areas, but I'm going down the path of lawful administrative process. Nuggets that are left behind because a lot can be lost in one generation. There's been so much lost. My dad used to come out when I was a young boy. I remember seeing my dad come out with an abstract of the farm, abstract of title. And I don't know how much he knew about it. I had no clue that, it was just, something that I remember seeing. Big book, and it's the abstract of title is the history of the land from the time the land patent was done until whatever right now is a true abstract. History of the title and the mortgages and the notes and the encumbrances and the release of liens and everything that happened to that parcel, not parcel, but the piece of land. But I don't know where it's at. It's probably been confiscated by the title companies like most other titles abstracts have. The title companies hide those things on behalf of the bankers, so the bankers can manipulate and control the landowners. So these things are crucial and important and very valuable. Hey Anthony, good to have you on. They're very valuable if we are aware. If we are awake and aware, then these things can be useful and they can guide us into the future to come back to the basics. There's so much rich history. If you go into the county recorder's office and you start searching deeds, at least I know this is the fact in Marshall County, and I suppose it's this way in many areas throughout the country. When I go back and I start looking at deeds that were done about the time I was born, around mid-1960s, I see post stamps, and they call them revenue stamps, on these documents. This is not a new thing. This was done on a regular basis. It's called stamp duty something like that, stamp duty tax. Or so that I'm talking about stamps that are denominational, federal stamps from the post office. That's gold-backed money. The forever stamps and the white ticker tape labels and the red Pitney Bows, those are absolutely worthless. They're forever worthless. There's no value in those. The denominational stamps are federal money. Fact is, they are so valuable and so important and under such a venue that a lot of time I've seen multiple different times when letters with stamps were, the real stamps. They'll keep those in a court case file, or they'll salvage those. They won't destroy them. Not the higher ups that know what's going on, because that's real money. That's federal. So this has been a common thing. And another area that the truth has been hidden. I think pretty much everybody on here has background in the Amish community, and we're probably all familiar with the Martyr's Mirror, big book that I know my parents had one, and most of the Amish had one back when I was growing up. And we heard about these gruesome, awful tortures and martyr, the people that were murdered and tortured and imprisoned and harassed, and it was sick. And it was the Catholic Church that was doing this, by the way. It was not the, quote, government. It was the Catholic Church. That's the organization that's been murdering people and persecuting them, the Catholic Church. In recent years, I bought a Martyr's Mirror. And the reason I did is because my attention was brought to the introduction in the front of that book. It's been a while since I looked at it, maybe 50, 60 pages, or I'm not sure, but it's a long introduction, and this is a very valuable read. If you go and read that, you will find history of why these people did what they did, why they stood, why they exited out of the old whore, the Catholic Church, the mother of harlots, why they stood and sacrificed their life, and in many cases families were divided and destroyed. These guys were put in prison and harassed and terrorized and brainwashed, so that when they were released and came home, their own children were terrified of their father because they came home in a deranged state of mind. In this introduction, it'll show you why they did this. Very, very important. It's the most important part of the whole book by far. Lots and lots of crucial history. Hang on.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Thanks. Somebody stopping to see if I'm okay. We truly, that's just an example of where people's heart really are today, at least, and I suppose most of the time. But today, when they're not rushing about and thinking about work, that really shows up. This lady just stopped to see if everything's okay or if I need help. So that's really why I came on here, to talk about the rich history that is somewhere. If you're awake and aware and you notice these little things. And what got me on this path today, and I've been studying this for many years, but what got me on this path today is somebody shared a document on Telegram, actually several documents that were done in 1944 in Germany concerning the what we were told is the Holocaust. There's something fishy about that whole story, but nevertheless, this document was done under the post office with stamps and postmaster's seal right on the document. It was done by a military major. Very telling. Anyway, I'm going to keep going. There's a woman at home that's probably wondering where her milk is. So I better get going. Have an amazing day. Happy Thanksgiving and blessings to you all.